Very good afternoon and welcome to the CRNFC grounds here at Longton Place, where some overcast conditions have taken the oppressive heat out of the equation, and we might be in for a superb running game of rugby between Wesley and St. Joseph's, two teams that are desperate for the win in the third week rather, of this Singer Schools rugby season. We have two teams coming together that haven't won a game yet, and joining me in the commentary box to call the action this afternoon, Paul Toya is in the studio with us. Paul, it is a do-or-die game for these coaches. What would they have been thinking going into this match?
Well, thanks for the welcome. I'd imagine that there'll be a lot of heart in the first 5 minutes. They'll come out and they'll be giving everything they can, and when you play more with the heart instead of the head, it's all about adrenaline, and that keeps you going for the first 10 minutes. But after that, the game plan will come into effect, and the coaches will hope that the skills will be there. The heat's gone away, so we should be able to see game plans come into play and also combinations.
So you're saying that whoever weathers those first 10 minutes of nerves and adrenaline rush is probably going to win this game at the end, when they can actually get down to the nitty-gritties of execution.
That's right. As long as the coaches have mapped out a plan for the teams to take them to a win, they should be able to do the job.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a high-pressure game for both these teams because a defeat here would mean that they have suffered 3 defeats already, and one more with big teams coming up against them are going to be very difficult to compete to go into the actual cup competition or stay in the cup competition coming into the knockout part of this tournament, Paul. How important is it for teams that have practiced so far with so much pre-season work to actually go down to the lower end of the competition? That must be heartbreaking, isn't it?
It would be, but at the moment they'll probably be thinking about today's game, so they won't be thinking about that at all, and they'll be just trying to concentrate on what they need to do today. And the coach would have broken it down into what do I need to do in my position, what's my responsibility right now as the ball goes into a scrum or a maul, what do I have to do now. The pressure that they'll be under because they've lost 2 games already will be immense. On top of that, they know that if they lose, they'll probably have to go down and play in the other competition. So the coach will try and get them to leave all of that behind and come into this game with a fresh mind.
Looking at this St. Joseph's team, the home team today with Tristan Pereira, Ravin Pangaya, Supanapuhami in the front row, Kevin Silva and Rajito De Silva in the second row, Tarindo De Silva and Tarindo De Alvis and Sonil Silva as the flankers, and Devon Fernando moves from hooker into number 8 this season. Lakshan Vikramaratne is the scrum half, and Chatura Senegaratne has been the standout player for St. Joseph so far in the number 10 jersey. Ayuma Pereira, Navin De Silva, the experienced Gamanu Chetia is in the centres, replacing Ramesh Priyankar, who goes to the wing, and Vinod Fernando, another experienced campaigner for St. Joseph's, mans the last line of defence. And now having a look at the Wesley team card as well, suffering an injury to one of their key players. We'll talk about that in a bit. Sabha the captain with Amit and Vimukti in the front row, Javira and Das in the second row, and Asanka Samaravikrama binds down alongside Fernando as the flankers, and Fernando is the number 8 actually, and Lee Avishka is the scrum half. Subair comes in at number 10, nursing a bit of a knee injury. Gunatilaka is on the left wing, and Avantha, the twin brother of Avishka, is in the centres alongside Bahadin, and we have Ranavera, Samaravikrama and Sirivardhana, who are the back 3 for Wesley College. Raminda Vanusha, Sven Muller, Tiraka Santosh, Kashan Vikramasekara, Hashin Salgadu, Jahan Senegaratne, Udisha Pereira, Ravin Antonio, the experienced player from last year, finding his way on the bench today, and Samisha Viranga and Malinda Pintu are the bench for St. Joseph's. And looking at the bench for Wesley, it's Jayawardhana Sabar, Sritesh, Saumya Samarakon, Shibli, Asanta Samaravikrama, Kutubuddin, one of their colorsmen who starts from the bench today, Hisham, and Tariq Jurampati, the youngest of the Jurampati brothers, is also expected to come off the bench into one of the halfback positions later on this evening. So this could go down to the wire, Paul. It could be a close game because St. Joseph's have everything to gain with a win here, because they've shipped a few points, almost 70 points that they shipped in their first 2 games, and that will need to change drastically if they want to win today's game.
That's right. The coach would have looked at the defensive setup and also what their responsibilities are at defensive time, and I'm sure they would have been working on that all week. And for Wesley, I think what they will be looking at is their finishing. If they can get within 5 points of another team, then you should think that they can win. So then is that a mental edge? Are they almost getting over the line and they just need to have a mental click and then they might start winning games? We'll find out.
What's your take on it, Paul? Because they've come within 2 points of Trinity College. They were leading for almost the entirety of that game. Lost it in the last 2 minutes of the game with a touchline conversion being their death knell. And then they came again within 3 points of a very strong Royal College team as well at this venue last week. So where would you put it, even though you haven't seen them play? Where would you think that a team that displays those symptoms, where would you think they need to fix it?
Well, as a coach, I always believe that when you can get a team that close, it's up to the coach. What a coach brings is belief. And when you can get within 2 or 3 points, or 5 points of the team, and you have belief, then you can get over the line. And, you know, it might be the bounce of a ball, or it might be a lucky pass or something like that, but teams that believe generally can make luck go their way, and you find that they do sneak over the line more often than not.
Yeah, we had a team with playing with a lot of belief yesterday as well. St. Thomas is sneaking a win against a Royal team who had pretty much ground them out of the game with their rolling maul. But St. Thomas is with the last play of the game, literally the last play of the game, managing to sneak their wing over the line. Did you manage to have a watch of that game, or were you at another one, Paul?
I was at another venue, but I did see the last couple of minutes, and it looked exciting. I'm sure the boys would have been overjoyed with that finish. But that is another point where the coach gives them belief, confidence, call it what you might, but it isn't something that you just feed your players in a pill or put it in a bottle and then they drink it. It's something that comes from pre-season, from training, and doing everything right before the game. The winning of the game is done between Monday and Friday. That's when you win the game, and then if you do everything right in all those days leading up to Saturday, then on Saturday you have the confidence knowing that you've done everything you can.
Yeah, I think it was Steve Hansen that said it's what you do Monday to Friday that gives you a chance on Saturday. And if he's the coach of the All Blacks and adopts that philosophy, it's a good enough philosophy for these coaches to adopt as well, isn't it?
That's right. I did hear another All Black coach say that to become a better coach, you just get better players as well. So they can use lines whenever they want, those All Black coaches.
Absolutely. And Hansen has also said quite famously that better human beings make better All Blacks. And that's something that's been a fairly topical conversation recently, Paul, in terms of these schoolboy players. How much do you need to be professionalizing the game? How much time do, say, players at this level in New Zealand or Australia, where you have lived and coached before, how much time do they spend on the actual academics? How much time do they spend on their rugby? Is there a balance that you achieve to find?
There's a balance that they're looking for, and life isn't all about rugby. It's more important than that, but it's a responsibility. It's a set of core beliefs that they're trying to instill in the players that says, I'm going to do the right thing because this is what the right thing is. It's not that someone's looking over my shoulder, but I want to be as good as I can be and put the right foot forward all the time. And if they do that and put maximum effort into everything that they do on the rugby field, then that carries through in life, and they make the best effort in other areas as well.
There's a lot of emphasis on player development and actually personality development as well, isn't it? I was watching recently, Paul, new players coming in, say 18, 19-year-old players coming into Super Rugby, or guys who have been earmarked to be in the All Black squad in future years. They're given a whole overall training session. About 100 players gathered together, and the New Zealand Rugby Football Union puts together a program for them. And I read also, before they won the World Cup, they were going to get about $150,000 as a bonus for winning the World Cup, which they obviously did. And then you look at players like Malakai Fekitoa and Julian Save and all those younger players who who didn't have managers or agents perhaps, going to get financial advice on what to do with that money. So that's really going down to a very socialist approach almost to how to develop these players.
There's a feeling of responsibility at the New Zealand Rugby Union in that if the Rugby Union's going to reward players with big financial bonuses, then they have to make sure that the player is able to handle that bonus. And saying that, it's, if you give an 18-year-old a big bag of money, what's the 18-year-old going to do with it? So they want to make sure that those steps are in place, because what they've had is, at the beginning of professional rugby, they had players who were given a lot of money and they thought the easy road was just to play rugby, and then they might have just fallen out of the group that was making money, and they struggled to get back into society because they didn't have the skills because they just received money in an easy way.
Yeah, that's something that we need to look at as well. Here are the Wesley team, the visitors, the challengers, aiming to win their first match this season, led out there by Dan Saba and his big front row mates running in out after him. And a lot will depend on first phase ball today for Wesley, how quickly they can secure that first phase ball and spread it out wide. Wide is their game plan. And we'll see a war cry of Zam Zam Zaki, Zam Zam Ze. Paul, I don't know whether you've heard that before. It's a Zulu war cry, which is quite a traditional war cry for this Wesley College team. Wesley is a Methodist school, and it was started out by, I think, one of the priests that had some involvement with Africa, and they had started out using this call, and it's been a traditional one that they've done quite a bit. So starting off with a Fijian-style prayer, the Methodist school, and St. Joseph's also running out and will probably jog into the middle of that huddle. So good to see these traditions.
It's great to see those traditions. What it does is it brings in the legacy that that school has, the traditions, all the players that have played before, and also the players that are going to play in the future. The players get to think about that, and they're just holding the jersey now. And their job is to make the jersey better than what it is when they put it on for the first time. And those little traditions, it just reminds the players that they're part of something bigger.
Absolutely. It's your custodian of the jersey for a year or 2 or 3 if you're lucky. Chatro Seniviratne, the man who a lot of St. Joseph's fortunes will depend on this afternoon. He's got a big boot, the young fly half. Made his way down to Dali Road from Kandy. That's Rahul De Silva in his trademark turned back cap. Current scrum half of Havelocks and former Wesley College championship winning captain. Most intelligent rugby players around in the club circuit at the moment, as Chatro Seniviratne gets us off in this Wesley versus St. Joseph Singer Schools rugby game. And the kickoff pretty easily cleared by Wesley College to give the first line out to St. Joseph's. And this is where Joseph's will be tested, Paul, in their first phase.
That's right. It's always first phase always is an important time for both sets of forwards. You get to test your opposite number, whether it's a scrum or a line out, and you just see what their mentality is at.
Supunapuhami is the jumper in the lifter in the front, but they go to the back this time, and it's overthrown. So again, problems for St. Joseph's from the first phase. The forward pod, which was standing in midfield for Wesley, it was Subair that took it up. And here's the big boy, the captain, Dian Saba, making his first carry, trying to inspire his troops from the front. And a knock forward there off the leg of the rucking player. Avishka just taking his eye off the ball at a crucial moment. The referee playing a good advantage, a good run by Apuhami there for St. Joseph's. And here it is available for Vikramasekara. Good hit, but also a good tackle. Vikramasekara goes short side. That's a great move from Dewan Fernando. Dewan Fernando slicing open the Josephian defense, but a good tackle in the end. Dragging him into touch, and the fullback making a good hit. But again, the short side really opening up there for Joseph's.
That really, that tackle by the fullback really gives the forwards confidence. They know now that anyone that breaks through their line will always be taken. And that was an excellent run by the number 8, but maybe the winger could have positioned himself a little bit better and gotten a pass and maybe scored.
Showing how dangerous he is. Well, played in the front row last year and has moved back to the influential number 8 position. Amit with the first Wesley line out. It's deep in their own half. And going up is the number 8. That was Fernando. It was well won. And running a move from inside their 22. Not sure that's the right way to go about it. They'd want to clear this one, as exactly Avishka does there. It's a good kick by the scrum half. Ball bouncing sideways into touch. So a good exit strategy there from Wesley.
It was a good kick, and it looked like it had a great chase as well, and that's another part of the game that you need. It's a two-pronged thing. The kick might be good, but you've got to have a good backup as well.
Yes, yours, Blue. Yes, your mark.
The kick is only as good as its chases. I think the saying is in coaches' boxes the world over. Using Fernando, the number 8, to jump at number 1 in 7 style to try and disrupt this ball. That's an intelligent move. Going into a team that have these jumpers, so well won by Kevin Silva in the front. Joseph's still retaining the ball. Vikramasekara spins it wide. Chatura Senivaratna looking for Gamanu Chetia. Spinning, the pass is not good, it's behind him, but the as well. Now the ball is available once again for St. Joseph's who cut back on the inside. 50-50 ball, but Joseph's managed to protect it. Good defense coming through the middle of that basket. That's good work from Wesley, who coughed the ball up again. Vikramasekara. Good tackle there. Scrum half waits, goes open side this time. Devon Fernando, they're standing and passing.
Number 3, blue. Thank you.
It's one of the danger men in the back line for Josephs. So look for him to make some breaks today.
Number 1, now leave the head.
Sabah getting in there, trying to disrupt the ball. St. Joseph's have numbers on the outside. They're going laterally. Someone needs to straighten it, and they do. That's a good pass out. The winger has to reach for it, eventually gets it, and St. Joseph's are really making the play. They know how important this game is for them, and they're showing more in these first 10 minutes of this game than they have showed in the last 160 minutes of rugby they've played.
That's right, mate. They know how important it is to hold on to the ball, and although the Wesley defence is fierce, they're onto it, they're up quickly, and they're almost turning the ball over, so they're attacking the rucks and mauls, and they're making a contest of it.
Time up.
Ramesh Priyankara, the winger, just having to reach for that pass. If the ball had perhaps gone in front of him and he'd been able to run onto it, it might have been a different story.
It did look like the space was down the line, and a little kick could have gone through, or if they'd just gone through their hands, they did have an extra man there. The cover defence was coming across quickly. And in the first 10 minutes, it's difficult to get outside another team when there's so much emotion there. Both teams came out and they're with a hiss and a roar, and they're really going for it.
Jaivira, the second row, having a few running repairs. 4-man line out for Wesley. Fernando goes up again. That's well won. It's nothing quite as aesthetic as a well done line out. Wesley choosing to run from their own half. Not sure this is the best game plan. Fernando again looking for the offload. Sabah does beautifully. Now they need support.
Fine on the leg, play on. It's on the leg, line out.
Off the foot, says the referee, and the ball will be Wesley ball. Watch it here. Lovely pass from the skipper Sabah. And he goes off a foot. In fact, it's dragged back from a Josephian hand actually.
A little bit of wrestling on the ground there with the ball. The referee mustn't have seen that, but it's easy on the eye, isn't it? The play of the Wesley, there's support there, the runners are coming through, and they're just getting their hands through and putting a pass away, trying to keep the ball alive.
They're going for the short line out, seems to be the tactic for the evening. Fernando wins it well again, and it's quick ball from Lee Avishka to Suber. Suber is a very calm fly half. Controls things well, knows when to put the gas on. Sabar has been making quite a few carries, the skipper. Avishka. Here's space now. This is Avantha. Avantha with the fend. Goes straight into the defense. And here's a pickup from Danister. Suffered an injury last week, but looks like he's ready to play today. The number 12, their vice captain, should have probably stepped off his right foot, but that's where the injury is, Paul, so perhaps why he couldn't step back strongly.
That's right. And the centre there had an overlap. He had two players outside him, and he put a little step on and tried to go himself. The play there is to draw and pass and put the man, and you've got two players outside you, one to beat, and it's try time.
Good contest there from St. Joseph's, but for St. Wesley rather. Going backwards, the Joes, first
No
time
hand,
that
guys!
they've had to defend in their 22.
Inside.
And now for the boot of Chatura
Wesley
Seneviratne.
now, number 19.
You see exactly why his boot is so prodigious. Went back that time from the Wesley player, Avanta
19
Samaravikrama.
offside.
But the referee is saying offside. So is that a penalty for
Listen to me,
Wesley?
guys, 19
Yes, it
in front
is.
of the kicker.
Chase in front of the kicker.
Ball on the ground, guys.
It was a lovely
Number
kick, though.
19 in front of the kicker.
And,
One in
and a
front.
great chase as well. They had numbers in the middle and they were getting up and putting pressure on them. But you've got to stay behind the kicker, so discipline's a factor here. And I noticed with the lineouts, Wesley have gone for 3 short lineouts so far, and it's effective, and they're winning the ball easily. It's a nice, tidy ball, and we've seen Joey's have 4 lineouts, and 2 of them have been untidy. And that's an area that they need to work on. I like how Wesley are sticking to something that's working. It's good.
So referee Wakadapulla, former Kingswood and Police player. Good to see him with the whistle. Also works for Police and works for the Rugby Football Union refs in England. So good to see him here. He's had a good game so far. He's let it flow. There's been a few knock forwards, which, well, things that look like knock forwards, which have come off the foot, and he's been quick to spot those. And that's hooked to the left. Lee Avantha snatches at the ball when he kicks it, and most of his misses are to the left, which is something that he really needs to work on in preparation.
That's right. That's a closed skill, kicking at goal, and your kicking coach will have a look at that. And it's all about the setup beforehand and shoulders and hips being in the right position. But they take a kick out, and it's all gone all the way into the other half.
And that was Samaravikrama cleaning up. Here's the fullback having a bit of a run, Sirivardhana. And Wesley getting back quickly, but it's been turned over by Gamunu Chetia. He's the man that St. Joseph's will look to spark something out wide for them. Good run there by Kevin Silva. Manages to make the ball available for his Josephian mates. And the penalty comes. Danista Gunithilaka keeps his arms up. The vice-captain wants to slow things down a little bit. So trying to force the turnover. Let's watch it here again. You see the body position. The referee's already said advantage. So he managed to get in there, get his body position in there. And you can see what that means to Wesley.
Well, and here they'll use the boot and go to their line out, which is working like clockwork at the moment. Now they'll be able to set up an attack that's inside the 22 and look at using with a short line out. It means that the forwards are going to be in the backs, and you'll have a couple of big boys out there, and you go from the 10 and maybe go through the 12 channel, and that's traditionally what you do. But all coaches know that, and, the setup and defence is to welcome that. So maybe they'll do something different. This might be an opportunity to have a short line out and go short, or who knows.
Amit to throw into the line out. He's been working on his throws all week, I've been told. And Fernando calls for it. And it looks like it's working for them. So they use the 4-man maul. Breaking away is Sabar. Now Amit gives it to the scrum half on the short run is Jayavira. He's got to turn and make the ball available, but that's great work from from St. Joseph's in defence, and coming away with it is Supun Appuhami. Jayavira just had the ball too high when he went into that contact, and Chatura Seneviratne will now clear. And it's a great kick. Gains over 50 metres for his team, because I think he was behind the goal line when he kicked that.
Yeah, that's right, and that was an excellent kick. It's lovely to see the ball turning over and over, and you saw in the run the back coming in and just standing up a bit high, and here we see it here, and standing up high and getting stood up, and they got underneath him, and it's an area of play that his other forwards will be telling him how to run. Just get your head and hips down and your shoulders down and going low.
Bit sympathetic towards Jayavira there as well, because the pass from Avishka was a little high. He had to reach up for it, which is probably why he couldn't get his hands down and protect the ball. Fernando reaches well for it. Looks like he's a basketball player, Fernando. Quite easy the way he handles the ball with one hand. Wesley going short side now. Fernando, the number 8, gives it to his captain, Sabah. Stays on his feet, he's strong. Cleared it away nicely, did Vimukti. Avishka waits, puts the box kick in. It's a good one by the looks of it, but Vinul Fernando does well to get there and mark it. Another experienced player in this Josephian line.
It was unfortunate. There was a good setup and the kick went maybe 3 metres too far, so it went inside the 22, and that means the defending player is able to claim a free kick.
Chatura Senivaratne takes the pass and thumps it up the field and manages to get the line out as well, because I think it was Sirivardhana that actually touched it before it went out. And you can see what that boot of Chatura Senivaratne provides to this Josephian team, who are generally under the cosh when they don't have the ball, Paul. But he manages to really save their blushes, because that's a good 60-metre gain up the field.
That's right. If you were a forward in that team, you'd be asking your halfback to pass it back to him and let's take another 15 metres and march up the field, and that's exactly what he does for them.
They've contested the lineouts, have Wesley, so they go short, number 2. Sonel Silva wins it at number 2, so good work there from St. Joseph's, identifying what the weak area is and going just to the number 2 position. Subair makes the first hit on Devon Fernando, who's still going though. Good run by the number 8. Now that's good ball for St. Joseph's. This is something that they can do something with. That's a lovely ball from Vinul Fernando. Great hands from the fullback. An excellent clearing out there from St. Joseph's. Here's Chatura Senivaratne trying to go on his own. A little basketball pass to Devon Fernando. The pass is again behind Romesh Priyankara, the skipper, who gets dragged out. And Fernando, the number 8, is there, marauding on the touchline. Should have done better to stay in field, but it's a good bit of defence again from Wesley.
That's right. The big number 8 got across there well, and you, as a coach, you really want that to stay in, because if you go out, basically you hand over possession to the other team.
It's probably going to number 2 as well from Pravin Tangaya. Yes, but Fernando reads it well this time and manages to disrupt it. And it does affect the confidence, doesn't it, of the hookers. You see there, Fernando just getting up in time and managing to snaffle it out of the hands of Sonel Silva. It upsets the hookers that your number 2 throw is getting picked off as well, doesn't it?
That's right, and it's all about the relationship between the number 2 jumper and the hooker there, because the number 2 jumper goes up first before the ball's thrown, and then he gives a target and the hooker hits that target. But often players know that's coming, and so the defending team, what their job is all about disrupting the opposition's ball.
Amit has got one target man, and that's Fernando, but this time he goes to Sabar. They go short. Avishka. Here's the willing runner in Dias. Straight through goes Devon Fernando, and that's a dangerous pass, but he manages to do something with it. Danis Gunithalaka. Avanta puts the kick in, and it's a terrible one. A grubber might have worked there, but he looked like he had a bit of space on the right-hand side if he wanted to step and go laterally.
So that's all about the pressure that Fernando had at the breakdown there. He got through, disrupted the ball. And as I said, your job's not over when you're defending a set piece. Your number 1 job is to disrupt ball, and that's what he did. And Wesley were marched backwards.
That's their mark. 1 meter from that.
St. Joseph's win it that time cleanly at number 2, Sonel Silva. It's a good, strong jump from him.
Fine, that's fine.
Ideal number 2 jump. The fullback Bahardin gets back.
No, fine.
It's a left-footed thump from him up the field, and now there's danger. St. Joseph's with Vikramaratne, the scrum half. And now some space for Romesh Priyankara. Cuts back inside. They're calling for it on the inside, and the captain drops the ball, unfortunately. Did well Vikramaratne got the pass out. Here's Chatura Senivaratne, another good pass. That was Romesh Priyankara cutting back on his right foot. Wants to do everything, the captain, from the winger's position. But just losing the ball in contact.
Well, you saw the 9 identified the space. The space was out there on the right, and what he did, he alerted the defence by running directly in that direction. What he needs to do is to run straight and then let the ball move. If he runs out and takes all the defence out, what happens is the space gets eaten up straight away, and we saw that where the winger had to come back inside because the cover defence was all there.
Running straight is just one of those things that a lot of foreign coaches, Paul, have complained about. The fact that players can't seem to draw and pass, but first 15 level or club level is way too late to be learning that skill, isn't it?
That's right. And in New Zealand and Australia, what they do is a lot of kids play touch rugby or tag, and they play that at such a young age, and that's all about draw and pass. And there's equal numbers, and as soon as you have an overlap, then each person, their responsibility is to make sure that the defender in front of them is committed to that player before he passes off. So it's all about watching hips, making sure that the defender commits his hips to you.
First scrum of the game, actually. It's taken a while coming. And we'll see where the strength is in this front row. Wesley's obviously got much better weight in that kilograms category, but that's not everything at scrum time. Fernando comes off the back. Chatura Senivaratne body slamming his opponent, not Chatura in fact, that was Sonel Silva body slamming Fernando. They're meeting each other in the lineouts and having a go in contact as well. And the referee says that there was no release in the tackle there. Don't forget this game and all everything else that's available on ThePapare.com, available on our social media sites as well. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything you want. We've got it on all our social media platforms.
So you notice there that the defending team, one player comes in and he affects the tackle but stays on the ball. And so I've seen coaching teams in the Southern Hemisphere. What they do is the halfback calls chop for the defenders, and all they do is chop out legs. And then their job isn't to go for the ball. All their job is to take out legs so that the next player in their job is to attack the ball. And that seems to be a mindset that they could introduce here that might make a difference.
6 guys, 6. This is our last.
So it's the second man then that has the arriving player that has the responsibility to try and scavenge the ball. Amit again with the line out. Fernando has been the target man. Got a few variations. That's a better line out again, but referee calls the crooked throw.
First quarter, guys, first quarter.
And he calls the 20-minute break. This is the new regulation which has come into force to combat the heat, and it's good to see as well because it has been a fairly oppressive time of year in Sri Lanka. What's your call there, Paul? Is it a little harsh because there was no competition from St. Joseph's?
I'm a letter of the law type of guy, and I think if it's not straight, it's not straight, and you've got to play it. But I tell you what, I do like this little 1 minute break where they get to refresh, and it gives the coaches an opportunity just to say, look, these are the areas we need to work on, this is where we can improve, this is where I see weaknesses, let's reset. Gives an opportunity for the leaders to speak to their groups as well, and they can come out firing again.
Yes, it's also testament to the fact that there hasn't been a point scored already in this game, that both teams lack a little bit of finish, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a skill base that they're not quite reaching that would mean that they'd be able to cut through these defences. But it's fierce. The defence is moving up really quickly, and that's putting pressure on players, and that's where the errors are coming. So we'll probably see more of that again, and maybe at the end of this half we might see as fatigue sets in, the defences won't be as fierce, and you might see points being scored.
Yes, look for it to open out in the final quarter. A desperately important game for both these teams. Two former adversaries coming against each other on the coaching benches as well. Jeevan Gunitilaka played in that 2000-2001 teams for St. Thomas's. Bilal Yusuf played opposite him at Royal College, and here they are coaching on opposite benches as well. In a must-win game for both these teams, because they are trying to stay up in this corner of the competition, or this segment of the competition, segment 1A, which looks to be the stronger segment, and only 4 teams will stay up. So at the moment it looks very much like St. Thomas's, Royal and Trinity will stay up on in segment 1A in the cup competition, and who will join them, that is what this clash is all about, because it looks like St. Anthony's and Dharmaraja will probably finish at the bottom of this. DS and Dharmaraja will finish at the bottom of this table, and who will join them in the plate competition is what's available, probably, unless there are some unusual results later on in the season, is probably what's at stake here.
And that's called a commentator's curse when you start predicting things from the commentary box. Normally with the oval ball everything goes exactly the opposite way.
Absolutely, Paul, and yeah, it has been one of those weekends for me, to be fair.
Guys, driving early.
Referee Vakatapola saying there's an early shove, and Devon Fernando is asked to come back and take it from behind the scrum.
We'll look forward to a towering punt, Gary Owen.
Yes, that is exactly what he does, Chatro Sanayuratna. It's a big, long kick, and St. Joseph's competing the air and do well to receive the ball, but unfortunately it's knocked forward and a player plays it in front. Offside, says Vakatapola.
19. It's the second time now. You're running in front. Carefully. Knock forward, playing in front, offside, guys. 19.
Subair to knock this one into touch and see if they can get together a scoring move. It's a pretty decent kick from the Wesley fly half.
It'll be interesting to see what they do from here. The last 2 times they've been in this part of the field, they've gone for the short line out, taken it up in the 12-13 channel, and then gone back to the blind side and used the forwards that have been remaining from the line out. This time they're going a different route. They've got a full line out, so more variation.
Might try to set this one and drive it backwards a little bit. Fernando, the number 8, goes back and will ask for it in the middle of the line out.
Early jump, guys.
It's an early lift, according to referee Vakatapola.
Jumping early, guys.
Devon Fernando takes it.
Sitting there and take the ball.
So what do you think about that? Where there's no opposition, they're jumping for the ball and he took it clearly?
I don't know, Paul. I'm sympathetic. I've been a forward all my life. I'd like those things to see let go. Bahardin stepping, cutting through.
No hand, guys.
Needs some help now, and he gets it. Avishka with some quick ball. Now it's opening up for Danista Gunitilaka. Avantha got the ball back inside with a lovely offload. Danista goes back, and they need to release. Avishka waits now. That's a forward pass, but the referees let it go. Carrying it forward is Amit. Avishka. Here's Subair. Knows exactly when to move it. It's Bahardin. And here's the man with the gas. That was Ranavira, who had joined in from the opposite wing. And unfortunately for Samara Vikrama, he couldn't catch a ball at full pelt.
Yeah, and that's in that position we need a sympathetic pass. There had 2 players outside and we had an open line, and a drawn pass, simple sympathetic pass would have had those 2 players away.
Just a bit of white line fever there. I think they're so eager to get the gap that when they finally do, there's just a little bit of a mistake that comes in.
got to say, I do like the way that Wesley play. The support play, the support running lines are
Sorry, your hook,
excellent, and it's an attitude. It's an attitude that a team takes into a game where they know their teammates are going to go for the gap and attack the hole, and then try and get the ball free. And once you know your teammates are going to do that, you chase the ball, and you know that they're going to pass it back inside.
The problem, though, Paul, is watching Wesley. It's a bit like watching the Jaguars, isn't it? Or the Pumas, rather.
Fine.
Argentina, and they play such
Set. Steady.
flair rugby, but just don't have the finish.
Yeah, that's right. And it just comes with game time, but also coaching. The Monday to Friday stuff. You train these things. You'll do exercises under fatigue and train where you've got a man over, and you do it 100 times, and then in the game you only need to do it once, and that's when you can do it.
Make sure.
Referee having a chat with the front rows.
Talking about the holiday and what they're going to do and where they're going to go.
He seems eager to have a chat with the players. Referee Wakadapola. I'm not sure how much of it is getting through to the front rows, but they nod and smile as we do in this country.
Steady.
Good body position from the Wesley tight head on this side. Vimukti, that is.
No back.
Good drive straight through.
Use it. Play on. That's fine. Play on. Give the ball now.
No idea how the number 5 came away with that. Rajita De Silva, the second row, came up with that ball. Scrum completed, disintegrating, but the referee letting it go. And Chatura Seniviratna does what he's had to do a lot this season so far. And now here's some space. Here's Bahardin. Bahardin gives it away to Sirivardhana. Sirivardhana to Avantha. Avantha puts a little kick into space. It might go a little too far, will it? It's a good chase. And now they need to make the tackle, but they don't. And St. Joseph's are now breaking away. Chatura Seniviratna with a lovely little break there. He is the man that's keeping St. Joseph's in the game.
Use it.
A lovely run from this fly half. Really busts open the left side of the field, and now St. Joseph's have a chance to counter.
Number 3.
Good pick and go there. Gaining valuable yards. Always over the gain line. And Seniviratna with a big up and under. This is a feature of their play. That's not a great pass, and Bahardin manages to get it away. Here's Ranavira with some space. Good tackle in the end on Ranavira, and now he needs to get his support, and he gets there. Avishka. Now they've got some space. Sabah, Amit. Here are the forwards in the middle of the field. Avishka now. There's a little chip, but it's a dangerous one. Amit gets back to tidy it up, though. It's turned over. Turned over well by St. Joseph's. They've got that good skill of managing to turn the ball over in tackles. They've snaffled more than a few of Wesley's breaks.
Stay back, guys, back.
Still there for St. Joseph's, and Chatura Seniviratna will once again put the big kick in. Bahardin gets back well. And this time, instead of faking, he will actually kick it. It's not a great kick, but it'll do. And just outside the 22 is the line out for Chatura Seniviratna's Josephian team. So you can see the game plan, isn't it, Paul? It's pretty clear, just played in their half.
That's right, it's a territorial game plan. It was nice to see halfway through that the forwards all getting together for Wesley, and there were maybe 3 or 4 passes from the front rows in the middle of the field, and that's something you don't see enough of. Moving the point of attack by those close guys, which is something the defences don't see much of. It's an area that all teams can work on.
Looks simple, but it's a highly skilled art, isn't it, Paul? Just to move the ball at pace, short, between those big front row boys or second row boys. It doesn't happen automatically.
That's right, and that's, as I was saying earlier, the where young children play rugby from a young age, play tag, play touch football, and you see big players playing. Everyone wants to play that. It's like how they play cricket here in this country. They play rugby non-stop in New Zealand and Australia and South Africa and Argentina and all around the world, and that's where those skills are born.
News from Kandy. We have Isipatana. News from Royal Sports Complex. We have Isipatana leading Kingswood by 24 points to nil. The Kingswoodians in segment 1B aiming to win their first match. Probably not going to be this evening, given the scoreline already. Isipatana have been running in a truckload of tries. They're a dangerous team with ball in hand. Kamunu Chetia is all patched up and ready to go. They desperately wanted to keep him on the field. You could see the entire senior bunch of St. Joseph's around, making sure the physio got him ready.
I thought he might have had a head knock or something. It looked like the physio was trying to hold on to him, but they've patched him up and he's back out there. He's eager, that's for sure.
Looks like the replacement hooker has come on. Praveen Thangaya seems to be off the field for the moment. Don't know whether that's a permanent replacement or not. Avishka. Here's Jayavira, the second row. Big ball carrier. That's again a kick from outside the 22, which actually means that they'll go all the way back.
So today's game looks like it's a tale of the boots. One accurate, long, raking boot from St. Joseph's, and then the wayward kicking from Wesley as the territorial game is playing into St. Joseph's hands.
Absolutely. The slower it's played, the better it is for Joseph's. Wesley will want to open this game out, so perhaps it's going to be a second half launch for them. Just holding on to this first 40 minutes. It's just that final pass that has let them down.
That's right. When they do have the ball in hand and they attack, they look dangerous. They need to be treat the ball with a bit more respect. And here comes the number 8 off the back of the scrum, making great yards over the advantage line.
Fernando has been full of running today, and here's the pick and go from the Wesley team. They've got to release. The tackler's got to release. Now they do. Good call from referee Wakatapola. Here's Sabar. Really good strength from the Josephian defense there. We remember watching them against St. Thomas's College, and despite getting broken up out wide, they really toughed it out in the up-front battle. And Vinul Fernando does well to clear his lines there, again gaining about 35 meters for his team.
Yeah, that was a great kick. Now it looks good that it's looking good for both sets of forwards here. It's a fierce battle going on there. Lots of pick and driving. There's players that are getting in over the ball and turning the ball over. Both teams are getting over the advantage line when they pick and drive. So we'll see more of that in the second half. It's been a feature of this game.
Yes, it has. It's been a fierce battle up front. St. Joseph's spoil quite a bit.
That's good, thank you.
And that's a better throw from Amit.
Come down.
Guy and Fernando, and now Sabar peels away from the back of that maul, but he's isolated. Straight over the top of it go St. Joseph's, lucky to get away with that sort of body position. Decoy runners everywhere, and Danis Tagunithalaka puts a little grubber in. Chasing back is Romesh Priyankara. Priyankara will try to swat away this defender, but well tackled by Avanta in the end. Got him by the bootlaces from behind. Referee communicating well and telling the players to stay on side, and Chatru Senayuratna once again with a massive clearance. Bahadin, that's well taken by Avanta Samaravikrama on that side. And here's Sirivardhana stepping inside. Looks for the support, needs to find it now. And Avishka rather puts the little box kick in. It's bounced kindly, has it? Going in after the ball, and that's Avanta going in for the first try. Avishka rather going in for the first try. Spotted the space, Lee Avishka. And the ball bounced kindly for Wesley. It's a cruel game, isn't it, Paul, when the ball does that to you?
Well, it's that oval ball. It does funny things, but fortune does favour the brave. And you saw the little halfback get his head up and see the space and put the little kick in. It was a great chase, and and the ball just came back to him. So he's done really well. Fortune does favour the brave.
Jayavira there, I think, deserves a bit of credit as well. Chased well and managed to get that bouncing ball back onto his own team's side. Secure it for Avishka, who just had to run in. Can see Ramesh Priyankara there yelling at his Josephian team. They'll want to bounce back quickly. Avishka from pretty much the same place where he missed that early penalty. Well, he takes little or no time over that one and slots it in without a problem. So it looks like it's his concentration and the time that he takes building pressure on himself, probably.
Yeah, inversely proportional, the time he takes and the pressure that he puts on himself and the result. But now we're going to see what happens with what happens next with Josephs, whether they come back and take the game by the horns, or whether that's broken them.
Well, I know Coach Bilal Yusuf is very mindful of the fact that teams are vulnerable just after they've scored, and I'm sure he would have told his forward pack that as well. So you could see them really going after and chasing that kickoff, trying to put pressure on the try scorer, which they successfully did. There's no scrum half.
Guys, rock.
There is one now.
Leave the ball, leave it. Fine. Stay back, stay on. Inside, guys, inside.
It's inside, says the referee, so that's a good kick. Devon Fernando had gotten back, but the ball just eludes him into touch.
It was a great setup there by the Wesley forwards. You could see that it's well drilled when a team can take the kick off and go drive up two or three times, and all the forwards know exactly what their responsibility is. They stay on their feet, they drive past the ball, they present the ball to their halfback, and it's something that all coaches like to see.
Line out for St. Joseph. Sonel Silva has been good at number 2 today. Wesley driving through quickly, but before the Josephian maul was set up. Still going, St. Joseph's. This was a tactic that almost destroyed St. Thomas's yesterday. And it's still going. Amit in the middle trying to disrupt, but his body position is not good enough. Somebody's got to get their body behind that to stop it for Wesley, and eventually they do. Vikramaratne and Senivaratne once again with the big thump. Bahadin under serious pressure. This is a good chase. Takes it beautifully, the young fullback. He's lifted in the air. That's great upper body strength. And that's a maul. And it's interesting to see what call the referee will make. Now, I'm not sure that's the right call, Paul, because when the ball is held up from the opposition's kickoff, it becomes the defending side ball. So this is directly from a kick.
Yeah, that's right. There's no opportunity to clear the ball or play the ball there. He was taken as soon as he touched the ground, and that the referees might have made a mistake there, but it was all brought about by the great kick. To be able to kick a ball that high and land it on a dime where it's 1 metre or 2 metres out of the 22, where you can't claim a fair catch as a skill that.
Well, he actually has given it to Wesley, Paul, so I think he's realised that it came from a kick, and he's reversed the decision. I think he awarded it to St. Joseph's first and then gave it back, so good call from the referee back at Puller.
So obviously the referee's listening to our commentary, which is good to hear.
And again, a little bit of a lapse in concentration. The scrum was actually outside the 22, and they carried it back, and Avishka, the try scorer, thumped it straight into touch. He thought it was inside the 22, so just a little lapse in concentration.
Yeah, so that's all about experience, but it's also about what leadership groups talk about and do and during the week, and they've got to take their mind through scenarios that when the ball's outside there, this is what I do. It becomes automatic then once they go through the scenario in their heads.
Good bust up the middle there from Dias, I think it was. Not a lot of penalties in this game compared to a lot of the games we see in this Singer League.
19.
Number 19 protesting his innocence, having his hands up in an almost don't shoot me fashion, but looked pretty guilty there, didn't he, Paul?
He did get caught red-handed almost, and then protested his innocence a little bit Richie McCaw-like.
And don't forget, you can get all the videos and footage and pictures that we put up on our site and our Facebook page. Just contact the editor at ThePapare.com or call the number on your screen right now. And you can get all the content at very reasonable prices here. A good memento for your kids or your grandkids from back in the day. Amit. And that was won by Fernando eventually, but Devon Fernando comes away with it. The number 8 has been really trying to spoil and doing so effectively. They get into the Wesley 22 for the first time in a long time with their tails up. And now the pick and go. And the referee saying stays on your feet. Sonal Silva accused of rolling. We watch it here. It's a good run by Devon Fernando. He really has been a thorn in the Wesley side today, hasn't he?
That's right, and that's more of the attitude that they've taken into this game, where they've competed. That wasn't their line out. They competed for the ball and they got through in numbers, and that's their mindset here. And the player's just unlucky here. So when you're tackled, when your knee goes to the ground, you're allowed one movement, and it looked like he might have taken one movement too many, but a lot of referees do let that go, so it was a judgment call there.
Yes, that seemed a little unfortunate, because it didn't seem a deliberate attempt to steal a march on the defence.
Coaches do try and train that, where you take one more movement, and what it means is that the player that's coming in over the ball isn't able to get his feet set, because the target that he's trying to get over is moving, and he's got to move his feet once more, and it gives the clean-out players a little bit more time.
Sabah taken around the neck there. Referee saying that's okay. Bust up the middle from Javira, and now that's a better kick from Avishka. Needs to have a chase. Vinul Fernando will have a run here, the fullback. Used to play on the wing, so he's got good speed. Avantha takes this one, and it's a good tackle by the following Vinul Fernando, and that's great counter-rucking by Josephs. But Wesley seem to have turned it over. They've got the penalty for the scrum for the knock forward, and now they've got to get the chase coming on. It's opening up this game, and that's a high tackle. That's just a little bit of bad luck, no intent there, but the referee has to blow this. Good spirit from the two teams there. I think they both realized that there was no real intent.
Yeah, the player there just got wrong-footed, and your momentum's going one way, the player goes the other way, your hand just instinctively comes up. And
low down. Yeah, I don't know, it's not intentional, but make sure it's not going to
it's not something you want to see, and it's not something you want to do either, so the players were right just to call that off.
Iomal Pereira is a victim there, but he doesn't seem to be any worse for wear. Seemed like it was Siribardana who was the man who missed the tackle, and then Jayavira was the one who was forced to make the
4 minutes left.
high hit. Looks like he's busted his hamstring in the process.
He's out.
It was Asanka Samaravikrama actually looks
looks
out of it completely.
Number 4, go out.
It's Crook, that's for sure. He doesn't look like he'll be able to take the field.
Number 4, go out.
He's torn something.
Yeah, that looks pretty serious.
Number 4.
Didn't seem to have his feet under him when he got up.
Although there's not much medical training going on from the commentary box.
Counting the amount of injuries I've had, Paul, there's a fair bit of experience that I've got in this sort of thing. That's going to hurt tomorrow morning, that's for sure. Javira. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all, and looks like he's limping as well. I would get him off if I was the coach. Protect him for the rest of the season if it's possible.
That's right, and that's where the wider staff come into play. The coach will be asking for advice from his medical staff, will be assessing that player and giving back the information, and then the coach can make the decision. Once he's got accurate information, he can make decisions that are sound.
Yes, this is where it's a coaching team now, isn't it, Paul? It's not just one head coach. Knocked forward by the number 2 jumper, so that number 2 contest is working well for Wesley. This is something that St. Thomas has watched it here. Fernando doing really well, just taking it out of Sonel Silva's hands, actually. Something St. Thomas's didn't do yesterday, Paul, when they were combating a rolling maul that Royal were brilliant at. They just didn't try to give them bad ball at any point. They didn't contest the number 2 jump, and it's strange to see, really.
Yeah, it means that the coaching staff have decided that they're going to go for the sack instead of trying to disrupt the ball, and they basically know what's coming. So that's a coaching point of view that they've taken on board there.
Vimukti doing well, winning a scrum for his penalty for his team. The loose head losing his bind.
I'd like to see it line out time. The St Joseph's actually trying a quick no jump throw to 2. Just a little variation, and then that just puts a little bit of doubt into the Wesley line out, and instead of doing the same thing over and over again and wondering why it's not going to work, just doing something a little bit different, and it puts a bit of doubt in there.
Yes, playing what you see in front of you, that's the important bit. Dan Sabah has been a bit quiet in the last few exchanges. Fernando goes to the back, and that's a good lift and a good take from... that's a lovely angle. Jayavira makes yummy yards. Now they've got to move it quickly. Danista Gunithalaka, the vice captain, now stepping forward. That was Sirivardhana. And again, that was Jackoling not releasing the player. That looked like it was Gamunu Chetia. Little bit of stuff off the ball. That's not very necessary. Here's a replay. Danista Gunithalaka gives the ball away to Bahardeen, and there was no release by the tackler. The ruck was formed and his hands were still in there. Gamunu Chetia, I think that was. Excellent kick. Brilliant kick by Subair, really. 5-meter line out, and their line out has been working well, Paul. You should be able to execute from here.
You'd hope so. This is what the coaches spend so much time on the training paddock doing for this position. So what you'll be asking for here is that everyone takes a deep breath, concentrate on what their role is and executing. So it's all about accuracy of skill.
Something they've been working on, Wesley, to execute those mini moments in games. Not think about the whole 80 minutes, but think about your next few seconds. Fernando, and that's where it all goes wrong. The telltale body angle of the jumper gives it away. And that's a turnaround, so they don't lose out on too much, but they lose out on an almost certain scoring opportunity. And that's the end of that first 40 minutes. It's been an intense game. It's been a ding-dong battle, to use that old cliche. But 7 points to nil is all it is to Wesley. They've played the more enterprising rugby. But St. Joseph's have shown that they've come to play in what is a must-win game for them. Paul, do you see things going a little differently in the second half?
I think the coaching staff will have to have a word at line-out time for St. Joseph's. That needs to be fixed up. Wesley, the coach will be saying, let's do a little bit more of what we've been doing when we attack. Go for the holes. Let's keep supporting our players. And for St. Joseph's, their defence has been inspiring. They're quick up off the line. They spoil everything. They compete at the rucks. And that's what they need to do more of. And that's an area that they've leaked a lot of points in the last couple of weeks. So they're fixing that up.
Hopefully you guys are watching this on your Dialogue connections, thepapare.com. We'll be back very soon after the halftime break. You're watching Wesley versus St. Joseph's.
ළමයෝ දැන් ඩේටා වලට ඔච්චර ලෝභ වෙන්න ඕන නැහැ. ඔන්න ඩයලොග් හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් එකේ ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
එහෙනම් ඩබල් ගෙවන්නත් වෙයි.
නෑ, තියෙන ඩේටා වගේ ඩබල් ලැබෙනවා පරණ ගානටම නොමිලේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංකකේ සහ වේගවත්ම ඉන්ටර්නෙට් සම්බන්ධතාවයෙන් දැන් රැට ඩේටා ඩබල් වෙලා.
ඩේටා ඩබල්.
ඩයලොග් අනාගතය ආදායි.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialogue Television is our window to the world and brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialogue Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialogue is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile.
Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialogue Expo ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialogue, the future today.
Very good afternoon and welcome back to the live coverage of ThePapare.com's screening of this game between St. Joseph's and Wesley. St. Joseph's the hosts here at the CRNFC grounds at Longton Place. A must-win game for both teams. And Wesley College just in the little bit of the ascendancy. Absolutely nothing in it so far, although Wesley have been playing most of the rugby. It's 7 points to 0 in their favour. A try scored by Lee Avishka and also converted by him. So 7 points to 0 in favour of Wesley College. The game controlled so far by referee Wakadapola, who has connections to the RFU in England. He does some work with them there, and he's blowing here in Sri Lanka. So that's good to see some expertise coming back in. He's had a decent game so far, Paul. Joining me in the commentary box, Paul Toya, who has overseen this first 40 minutes and looking forward to 40 minutes which might see a little bit more scoring, Paul.
That's right. No, I'm glad you mentioned the referee, because referees' performances can be seen in that you don't see the referee, and he's really done that. He's been almost invisible, and he's let the game go a lot here. And just at the end of that half, you saw a little bit of emotion coming into play there, and also the crowd started to become involved, and the 16th man was becoming involved. And luckily, I think for St. Joseph's, they got away and got to half-time and got to the sheds before there was one more attack. So we'll be hoping to see a bit more of that frenetic attack right near the try line.
Do you need a 20 minutes
Here's
break
a Wesley team looking for their first win of the season. St. Joseph's looking for theirs as well. Danis Gunithilaka in the scrum cap. He's done his knee over the week, so his team will need to regroup. They've played all the rugby but have not a lot to show for it. One small prayer before they hit this next 40 minutes. This is a Fijian tradition when they win sevens tournaments, which they do fairly often. Also find opposition teams joining in. It's a good camaraderie, isn't it, Paul, at the highest level of rugby, which sometimes is missing at lower levels.
That's right. The sevens teams and players, they travel around the world together, and they get to know each other well, and they understand that rugby is all about being part of a family. It's part of a rugby family where your opposition are rugby players just like you, and there's other players that play in other parts of the world, and we're all exactly the same. And without your rugby brothers, there wouldn't be a game.
Subair kicks off, and Devon Fernando takes it. In fact, it was Kevin Silva who took that. Good discipline from Wesley. They haven't really conceded too many penalties in defence. And Fernando, who's been plenty of ball winning. The number 8 stepping through, still going, the number 8. Lovely run by the lanky Fernando, still staying in field. Now he needs the support. Avishka, here you go. Subair now looking to spread it wide. Danis Gunithilaka has a lovely long pass, but it's behind his player. And now Sirivardhana still going. Good work in defense there from St. Joseph's. Excellent work, in fact. Straight over the ball. Great body position. The pass from Gunithilaka foiled that move there. And unfortunately, the number 15, Bahardin, just couldn't make the ball available for his following up teammates. And great work under pressure in defense there from St. Joseph's.
That was a close run thing. The rule book says that you've got to release the ball instantly, and that almost was instantly, but it wasn't quite quick enough for the referee. But what I like to see about that, the charge back by Fernando there, the number 8, was excellent charge. He basically just ran straight and said, look, I'm going to run straight through whoever's going to stand in front of me, so try and tackle me if you can. But then he veered away to the right. What he needed to do was keep running straight, take the tackle, set up a ruck or more. By veering right, it means that the defence can reset. They're scrambling already, and it didn't give them enough quick. The ball wasn't quick enough coming out, and then you saw a pass go behind.
Okay, you carry on now, guys.
Defence
I'm going to start game as we delay, right?
The momentum's lost. The moment's lost.
Holding on, guys.
Yes, it's sometimes conceding a few yards that you might make as a ball carrier for better options for your team. I think that's something that a lot of Sri Lankan players struggle with. They run themselves into corners and suddenly wonder why there's no other further option to take.
Guys, no delay, please. We are late.
Yeah, that's right. And you see it as well with young players. This team's got an attitude that says, I'm going to try and keep the ball alive, and sometimes they push the 50-50 pass, where it's not really needed, and really you just take the ball into contact, reset, and go again.
Again contesting in the middle there, but it was well won this time by Rajitha De Silva in the middle of the line-out. So they do have another option, St. Joseph's, and that's Avantha Samaravikram who gives it to Bahardeen. Bahardeen, well taken in the center of the field by the Josephian defense. The defense has held strongly, just as it did in their previous games. It was a bit of a dangerous kick there.
Yeah, I think that was definitely off the side of the boot. That wasn't what he was hoping for, to gain 5 metres for his team. But there you go, there's the number 10 for St. Joseph's. Carving out those metres for his forwards and puts them right in the attack again.
Ayumal Pereira could have had an early Christmas present if that ball bounced into his hands, but unfortunately for him, it just dribbled into touch. Not the greatest box kick in the world from Lee Avishka.
So with a box kick, what you're looking for is a contested ball on the other side, where your chasing player is going to be able to have time because the height's there, and they'll be able to get through and contest for the ball.
So Praveen Tangaya is off, and Rajitha De Silva wins this nicely in the middle. St. Joseph's finally have a chance to set a few faces together. Devon Silva taken by his opposing back row players. Playing with some depth, St. Joseph's now. And the penalty coming again. Good work in jackalling the ball there. That was Subair, the number 10, who went in after it.
Nice to see consistency from the referee. The clean-out players were there, but he didn't quite make it in time. And that's where you have the tackle player. You want them to move a little bit more, fight a little bit more on the ground, and then the person jackling can't get set and can't get onto the ball.
So Wesley have come to play in the second half. They've got an attacking platform now. Attacked right from the kickoff, and is this just the adrenaline, or is this better execution, Paul?
I think the coaching staff might have said, look, they're going to kick when they have possession, they're going to kick the ball to us, so let's attack again, let's hold the ball in our hand and use our support runners. Their scrum's dominant, their line-out's working well, so they're getting consistent ball, and they just go from those set pieces to set pieces and attack from there, then they should do well.
Fernando at number 2. And that's the
come down, guys.
Rolling maul that Wesley set and St. Joseph's pulled out of. Interesting move there.
Upside, guys. Scrum down.
Watch it here. Did the ball get passed back? Yes, it might have done. So the whole idea there is that the ball needs to be held by the first man carrying it, Paul.
The ball was in the back.
That's right. The first man carrying the ball means that there's no one in front of him. And as soon as he passes it back, if there's no contest from the opposition, that means the player is in front, and it's just like a American football move where there's a player running interference.
So good coaching there on that occasion. Bilal Yusuf recognizing that the maul might be a weapon used by Wesley and telling his players exactly what to do in that scenario. Josephs took the risk and it paid off.
Inside, guys.
Tremendous pressure for Chatura Seniviratne as he gets that kick away, but still manages to gain 28 meters, 30 meters even for his team.
Yeah, it was excellent to see the St. Joseph's team when they were going to do the no contest at that rolling maul. How they all looked a little bit disinterested. I wouldn't like to play them in poker. I think this team would have a great poker face.
Four.
Yes, they bluffed Wesley into thinking that they were going to contest it. Looks like Wesley have gone back to their previous tactic of the short line out. And Fernando takes it nicely. It's good when it works.
Right, listen, you need to keep the ball in front. You holding the back means they're offside. There's nobody engaged there.
So referee being very clear there.
That's right. A little bit of coaching here going on from the referee, which isn't really what an opposition coach would want to see. But the players need to take responsibility here. They need to understand what's happening in the game, and they need to understand that the first player has to make contact with the opposition before they pass the ball off.
Indeed, I think that's what happened yesterday also in the Royal Thomia. Thought referee Carter got one instance wrong where the Royal Mall was actually carrying the ball in front and he called for an obstruction when it actually wasn't by the letter of the law. This time the referee's got it absolutely spot on as well here though. And he's explained it very clearly to Dian Sabah and the rest of the Wesley team. So now it's for St. Joseph's to attack. That's a lovely ball from Devon Fernando stepping inside his the captain Ramesh Priyankara hasn't had much of a chance in this game. Devon Fernando snuck out of that scrum like a thief in the night almost. Good counter pressure from Wesley. They're going sideways, but lovely step by Vinul Fernando. Steps again beautifully. Lee Avantha goes after him, but Vinul Fernando for the line. He's over. That's a lovely try from St. Joseph's. All started from Devon Fernando on the right flank, finished off by Vinul Fernando on the left flank. And St. Joseph's have done what they came here to do, level the scores. And Wesley, they're clearly upset by the fact that that maul was not working. They've lost a little bit of concentration and allowed St. Joseph's to sneak in against a run of play. And that will really settle the nerves of this Josephian side.
It was a great play by the Josephians. They're so tenacious, you know, they get one opportunity and they take it. But the winger, that's great finishing. He had a lot to do there. He received the ball 40 metres out. He stepped inside one player, went through the hole, sprinted and then sort of used his momentum with 5 metres out.
That's a good pass there by Chatura Seneviratne. Kamunu Chetia in the middle. Ramesh Priyankara getting in on the other side. And Vinul Fernando stepping nicely off his left foot. Completely wrong footing Bahadin. And you can see those galloping legs flailing at the back. Really doesn't make you want to dive onto him from behind with those heels kicking up at you. And the kick is no good, so it's 2 points adrift for St. Joseph's. But that would really have settled them down. Chatura Seneviratne missing the conversion. But now they're just one score away, and that will give them a lot of self-belief that they managed to score not just a try, Paul, but a good try against this Wesley side.
That's right. You saw the centres in the backs working well. They drew and passed players, and then the left foot step by the winger, stepped twice. Wesley, though, behind the post, behind the goal line there, while the kick was being taken, had a quick word to each other, and they came charging back out and looked to take a quick kick, but one of their players is down crook and receiving attention, and the referee goes over just to make sure that he can carry on.
Looks like it's Danis Tagunatilaka taking a bit of a blow to the head. Can see Physio Amit just giving him a bit of ice to the back of the head there. I hope he's all right. The back of the head is a bit of a dangerous place to get smacked in. It's a tough player, Danis Tagunatilaka. Tipped to captain the Wesley team next year, so he'll want to have a good season, earn his stripes. Well taken there by St. Joseph's.
Number 7!
Under tremendous pressure from the chaser. And now Vikramasekara will give it back to Chatura Seneviratne, who's got a beautiful boot on him. Gayan, who ran the last one back with a plumb, does so again this time. Gayan still going. Throws a loose pass. Oh dearie me, he needed to hang on to that one. Devon Fernando has been full of running today. Lovely offload as well from the number 8.
No hands, guys.
Made some key yards has Devon Fernando for St. Joseph's. And Chatura Seneviratne again, he's charged down. The bouncing ball beats everyone into touch. So exciting stuff here at Longden Place. Wesley taking on St. Joseph's in a do-or-die battle for both these teams. The battle to stay up in the Cup Championship. And bad news for
22.
Wesley College as skipper is down. Hope it's just a cramp. Here's the run from Guy and Fernando. Paul, talk us through this one.
So he ran basically the same line again, running up that 15-metre channel, 15-metre line-out channel. But once he'd made the gap and made the hole and made the insertion, he turned inside and threw some loopy Hail Mary pass, and it's crazy. It's just such a 50-50 ball. You know, if you hear a call on the inside, then you can pass a little ball on the inside, or listen for a call on the outside and look for your supporting players. But you're not going to hit anyone. It's just so. It is a Hail Mary. It's a prayer, a pass like that.
Yes, Charles Wesley, the founder of the Methodist Church, must be spinning in his grave watching that one. Wesley College. Fernando has been making some great yards, but just not making the right decisions at the end of that run. Twice now he's run back a kick with real danger, real verve. He's a lanky number 8, one of those ranging forwards like Kieran Reid. Brilliant line-out option. Got pace, got skills, good hands as well, but just doesn't seem to be able to find the right decision.
Please, the number 1. We're almost late. Yeah, please.
Also, you'd think the winger who knows that he's going to run the ball back would just stick inside him and just ask for a little short ball once you've made a half gap, because you know that he's going to run that channel.
Okay, you can kick now, guys. You can kick.
Indeed, this is where teamwork comes into play. Chatura Senayuratna will thump this one nice and long back to Fernando. They know what he can do now. And now he runs a little laterally. That's a lovely fend from him. And now he gets it away to Bahadin. Bahadin to Lee Avantha. Coming back on the inside is Sabah Junior.
Play on, guys. Play on. Ball out.
They don't have a halfback. And Fernando now plays at halfback. Amit coming in on the short angle. Takes it static but manages to do well and make it available. Now here's the ball available for Avishka. Lovely fend. The ball is behind once again. And now Dias throws a dummy. Dias goes for the line. And Dias is over. This is Wesley when they're at their best. They managed to execute there. And again, Fernando made the yards with the kick return. And this time, he set it up in the middle of the field as Paul had been entreating him to do for the last 2 occasions. And Wesley spun it wide quickly through the hands. And Dias, the flank forward, throws a beautiful dummy at the end and goes over for the try.
There's beautiful work here. And you see that the forwards actually set it up well. They come in and this might have been the move before, but the forwards here, they do good work because there's no halfback and they have to come in and clean the play up. They do that, and that sets up the move for the other players. Here they are cleaning that ball up, so it's going to be clean ball for their number 9 who can make a pass. And here we see an Aaron Cruden-esque step there. He skips away. There's 2 players, draws 2, draws another one. 2 passes through to the try scorer. Beautiful play by the number 10.
I thought the number 11 did well there as well. Avantha Samaravikrama, who took that pass behind him and still managed to give a good pass away as Lee Avishka gets his 11th point of the night on the boards. That was Lee Avantha actually who knocked that one over. Bit difficult for us to tell with the whole twin thing. Dias skips, leaves 3 people with their faces in the dirt and goes under the post. So the Zamzam Zaki war cry. Oh, that's a bad mistake from Wesley. Could have taken that ball because it bounced inside.
Numbers blue.
So
losing concentration, Paul.
That's right. That's a first responsibility from a kick-off is to catch the ball, and that's a schoolboy error, they call it. But
okay, listen.
Now they'll have to let that go. They'll work on the next piece and try and build on that try. Make sure that they go through their processes and St Joseph's know that now, if they're going to make a difference, now's the time to make a difference, and they'll be coming back with a hiss and a roar.
That's fine.
Gan Fernando. Avishka is back with a bandage around his head. Got the numbers on the short side, but instead they go backwards. And Subair will put this one nice and deep. And it rolls into touch. That's a lovely kick by the halfback, but they did miss an opportunity on the short side of the field, Paul. It was a yawning gap.
That's right, there was a big gap there, and you just got to get your head up when you're at 10, and although the play that he didn't execute is straight out of the coach's manual, just to settle your team, get another 20 or 30 metres and get back into the other team's half. There was a massive gap on the blind side. One little kick or one player running that way and then they're through for another try, and that's a heartbreaker for St Joseph's.
They go to the back. That's a much better line out from St Joseph's. They've been executing that line out much better in the second half once Tangaya was off. And here's a good run by Gamunu Chetia, eventually taken around the ankles by Danis Gunithilaka. Good powerful run there by St Joseph's second row, Rajita De Silva. Here's the Josephians once again, trying to put a few phases together through Praveen Appuhami. They know they have to hit back quickly.
Tackle now, release it, fine.
It's available again. This is better from St Joseph's. This is about the fourth phase we're seeing. Haven't troubled the defense yet, but great work by... Oh, I thought that was a bit harsh. I thought Sabah was started behind the last foot. Let's watch it here again.
One, back foot.
That's the last strike from Dias.
That's right, the 9 for St Joseph's, or I think he might be the substitute 9. He's come on and he does labour with his delivery from 9. He steps up out of the ruck, takes a little half step and then passes away. And I haven't seen him take a run yet, so you know that when you're in the opposition and you're defending, he's only going to stand up and pass, so you can attack him exactly as soon as he has his hands on the ball and pulls it out. You're away, and he left himself open there. And Wesley, I thought were unfortunate.
Sudisha Pereira, who's a replacement halfback. Kasun Vikramasuriya also on for St Joseph's in the number 28 jersey. Sven Muller is the man who's throwing in. That's a lovely step by Gamunu Chetia. Looks for the little back of the hand offload, but decides against it. Probably the right decision. And that's Vikramasuriya. Just as Paul was telling us that he's labouring, he shows us why. The two key players for the side going at each other there. Sabar against Seniviratna. Good run by the number 17. Knocked forward by Kevin Silva.
At this point, you'd like to see the leaders of St Joseph's really pull their team together and just stand up and say, look, I'll be the one to carry the ball. I'll be the one to start taking responsibility here, because right now it looks like they're playing for their season.
That was typical of a slip cordon, wasn't it, Paul? You had the 2 second rows, one leaving it for the other and then it getting dropped.
Ready, please.
That's right. No one really wanted the ball there. They looked at each other and tried not to be there, really.
Wesley player down in back play. Quite a few players going down for Wesley. Had a lot of patching up work done.
It looks like St Joseph's have cleaned up their line out. They've brought the Viking on to start throwing the ball in, and he's doing a great job. He hit a number 6 jumper, which is the most difficult throw they can do as a hooker, and then his timing was right to hit the number 2 jumper there as well, and so he's cleaned that area up. And if they can get more possession, their tenacity might tell, and they might be able to get back and score again.
Yes, it was an early substitution made, and clearly Sven Muller, who's the Viking that Paul was talking about, is wearing the number 2 jersey. He probably started the season as the first choice hooker. And Tangaya was replaced pretty early on in the piece when the line out was suffering. And a good call by Coach Yusuf to make that substitution early, because the line out had stood the test later on in the game.
Steady, guys! Steady. Behind the ball, wide.
14 points to 5. Fernando comes
Go
away,
there, wide.
makes it available. And now Sabah
Release
picks
it now,
and
step
goes. We want to suck in this Josephian defense. Try to
Stay
get
on your
the
feet,
most
guys.
out of those
Third one,
tired
stay on your
legs.
feet.
Vimukti in front of the ball carrier. Amit there, but gets away with it. That's a doubling up. And Avishka makes the kick, a deep kick. Vinul Fernando, this is the man who scored the try. He can cut open the field, but well held there by Avantha, who had made the kick chase. Rajitha De Silva. Good run. He's been carrying the ball well today. Wickramasuriya again, a terrible pass from the halfback. Really makes things difficult for his receivers. Release, says the referee, and they do. So good discipline from St. Joseph's. Devon Fernando, that's a good tackle on him. They're trying to rip the ball off him. Subair on the number 8. They do well. Devon Fernando still going forward though.
Play on, knock on advantage, play on.
And now going away is Wickramasuriya, the replacement halfback. Again, he throws a loose pass. Wesley missing a tackle. But Ayomal Pereira manages to make the ball available, squeezes it out from under his belly.
Number 5.
Fighting there is
Back.
Josephian forward going to ground. Another double roll there. Referee lets that one go. Chatura Seniratu is a nice ball to his left. Stepping outside is Gamunu Chetia. Here's Chatura Seniratu. Again makes it available for his willing runners on the outside. Unfortunately, it was a forward this time. Wickramasuriya makes a decent pass that time to Devon Fernando. Fernando spins out of one tackle. And again, the pass is not so good, but there seems to be an offside play there from Fernando. Referee still playing advantage. That's a better pass. Chatura Senaviratna. Here's Vinul Fernando, puts his ears back. But this time Avantha makes the tackle and makes it well. But the referee will come back for the offside advantage.
So when the halfback's labouring away, the players on the field have to make a decision there. What are our options? We pick and go, or do we take a short flat ball and not put the halfback under pressure? And play as a team where if one member's not able to do what we need, then come in and help them.
Good tackle by Avantha on the try scorer, Vinul Fernando there. Dineru Ranavira has been one of the speedsters for Wesley, as we see a substitution being made for the double blues.
I'm allowed to pay you. Go out.
Number 23, Kutubdin, the experienced man, comes on.
5.
I think it was Ranavira that went off. In fact, no, Ranavira moves to the left wing. And it looks like Avantha Samaravikrama has made way for Kutubdin.
Yeah, fine, that's good. Carry on.
The colorsman who finds himself on the bench needs to play his way back into the side, so a good opportunity for him.
Number 5, blue.
Again, not
Fine, that's fine. Nothing happens.
this time. It wasn't really the halfback's fault, but St. Joseph's don't seem to want to collect this ball.
Hand, guys.
Wesley needed to do better there to try and retrieve that, but well done there by the Josephian forward. Is still going. He can't believe his luck.
Ball available.
Outstanding running from Tristan Pereira. And now it's available for Gamunu Chetia. Oh, that's a terrible pass. Just had the ball knocked out of his hands at the moment of release. Avantha's defense has been good there, but watch it here again. Chatura Senivirath with a lovely ball out. And Lee Avantha just went in at the right timing. And St. Joseph's have promised much but delivered little.
I love to see the tight forward make a bust up through the middle and then find open space. They all seem to gallop like a horse once they get into that position.
It's not what we were taught to do, Paul. So it's like asking Courtney Walsh to score 100.
Come forward.
It's not going to happen. Unless you're Dane Coles, of course, who has redefined how front row forwards play the game.
Wide nine!
Good pass from Avishka under pressure. Zubair gives it to Kutubdin, who's just come into the field of play. Long kick, and he makes a chase. Needs to make the tackle though. And gets back and makes that one. But the knock forward had already happened, so it's all well and good making the kick and getting there, but you need to execute your tackle once you do.
Yeah, and also it was a funny option.
Scrum, guys, scrum!
It was a 3-on-2, and as an outside back, you don't get that opportunity very often, and you don't want to see the ball kicked away if we don't need to. And I'd be asking him if I was on the outside of him, why didn't he make the pass?
We are late, load.
Probably anxious to play for his place in the side, in the starting lineup, Paul, so that might have been something that was going through his mind, try to do something spectacular, but from a coaching point of view, what you want to see your players do is stick to the game plan and execute the basics right. That's the best way to prepare yourself back into the team. Fernando again, but he's well covered by the flank forward for St. Joseph's this time. That was cut into Alvis. It's a maul, so Wesley have to win this one back. Otherwise the ball will go to St. Joseph's. Use it once, says the referee. He's controlled this really well. He goes to ground and it's not available, so Wesley will concede the ball to St. Joseph's. Excellent defense, great upper body strength as well.
That's right, and you saw all the players coming. It looked like a little schoolyard maul there. But when the ball is when the tackle player's held up off the ground and he's unable to get a knee to the ground, the players don't have to release, and that's what they did there, and the ball gets turned over to the defending team.
Excellent body position from this smaller Josephian pack. They haven't gotten really pushed back in the scrum despite the weight advantage that Wesley have in the front five. They're holding their own. Devon Fernando looks for the little basketball pass, but gets taken well. They're going back. Wickramasuriya, he's chased all the way, but the bouncing ball finds its way into the hands of Gamunu Chetia. He makes it available, and now Ramesh Priyankala will try to get away. In fact, it's Ayomal Pereira. And the knock forward. So St. Joseph's, after the inclusion of the replacement halfback, Paul, things have not been working as they would like them to.
No, and that's probably why he doesn't start the game. But as I said earlier, other players also have to take responsibility for that, because you can't come off at the end of the game and say, if only we had another halfback. So you've got to take responsibility on the paddock.
Don't forget, on the ThePapare Lite, we will cover all your sporting events. If you let us know what they are, whether it's your company or just social sports, we'll be happy to cover it for you. Just get in touch. That's a bad miss, and well taken there by Gamunu Chetia. Kutubdin makes a tackle in the end after spinning his opponent around a few times. Devon Fernando gets the fend out. Still going the number 8. He's had a lone battle up front with the ball in hand. Lovely strong run from him. Reminds me of Xavier Rush, the way he plays the game. Oh, that's a lovely beach of stepping there, and a good pass as well. Appuhami brought down finally, but St. Joseph still have it, and now there's room on the outside. Fernando gets across to make a tackle on Gamunu Chetia. And the penalty is coming, but it comes to Wesley. St. Joseph's can't believe their eyes to see the hand go up in the opposite direction.
Great direct running there. There's the prop forward getting a little bit of extra space, and then just popping the ball up. He would have gotten a call there, and it's beautiful to see that sort of rugby where a player makes a couple of metres, then just turns and pops the ball to a supporting player who would have been giving them the call.
It was Fernando winning the turnover there, or trying to win the turnover. Just a tackler holding on. I think that call was spot on, wasn't it?
It did look spot on. And so what you want from players who are cleaning out the ruck, you want them to be explosive, so that when they hit a ruck or a maul, then they do make a difference. Where he was just cleaned out in a nice, easy, gentle manner. What you need to do is You tell your players that player, he's stopping us from scoring a try. He's stopping us from getting the ball back. He needs to be clean out with some explosion.
The trick is to try and keep that process clean as well, Paul, because sometimes you get players just flying in with shoulders, elbows, heads.
2 meters, come forward.
It's important to make sure that coaches know what to do in those situations. Fernando. Here's Avishka. Now Kutubdeen.
Guys.
Sirivardhana. Avanta was in front of his ball carrier, which is not helpful in a game that you have to pass backwards.
Tackle now.
Dias, the try scorer, spinning his way out of a few tackles, making some yards. Kutubdeen gets a bad bounce, but manages to put the little chip in. Fernando picks it up off his bootlaces, looks for the pass to Kutubdeen, juggles it, and he's over for the try. Is it? No, just 5 meters short. Vimukti's going, and he's over. Vimukti scores the try. Wesley, the bounce of the ball favoring them. Tariq Jurangpati is on the park, and he opens it up, and the colorsman gets a bit of a pat on the back from his mates. They'd want to see him do well as well, the senior man. And he managed to juggle that and showed a bit of class. Watch the pass from Fernando there. It looked slightly forward. The referee let it go, and Kutubdeen did well to place that when he did and how he did. And Vimukti goes over for a try that front row forwards rarely score.
That's right. And the pleasing aspect there is that you've got a front row forward following that play and being all the way up there. You know, it's a testament to his fitness and his pre-season training and that he's able to do that so far, so deep into the game, follow and support, and it's more than just fitness. It's an attitude that you want to be there right at the end to support your mates.
Yes, I'm sure he'll be very happy with that performance. It's good to be at the end of scoring moves. It's a privilege that wingers have more often than not, and why not tight head props?
I heard the reason why wingers score lots of tries is because wingers mark wingers.
That's a good point, Paul. That kick just wide to the right, but he struck that one much better than he struck the first one, I'll tell you that much. Avishka seems to be limping, and he's been in the wars. His head is bandaged. He seems like he's got a blow to his hip as well. So Wesley having a bit of cover on their bench. Tariq Jurangpati is a player who has started before. Kutubdeen is a colorsman, so he's come on. It's 19 points to 5 in favor of Wesley now, so seems like a mountain to climb. Having a bit of a word with the match commissioner, Mr. Mahinda Jayawardena, is referee Wakadapola.
So for St Joseph's at this point, you're behind by 14 points, but you know that if you're going to get back into the game, you have to score 1 point at a time, so they'll be looking to score at least next.
So tackle, guys.
Referee actually telling Mahinda Jayawardena that he's not appreciative of the sideline comments he's getting.
Tag it in, guys, tag it in.
That's not a great kick, but beautifully taken by Kutubdeen. The ball is bouncing everywhere, and now it goes forward off Wesley hand. So watch the chase here. Kutubdeen takes it well, and again good defense from Gamunu Chetia. You can see him just managing to drag that ball back and forcing the knock-on.
Lots of willing players there. They're all desperate to get their hands on the ball and affect some sort of change of momentum here. Still going and giving it their all in the last quarter of the game.
Yes, it's replacement hooker that's come on as well, making a bit of a difference. Sabar. coming down opposite his brother, I believe. And it's a crooked feed, is it?
Yeah, crooked feed.
Basic mistakes, really. You can't afford at this level of the game. Vimukti now full of confidence from his try. Makes a bust up the middle. Now Avishka. Tariq Jurangpati. Needed to look for the pass there, but eventually does a sensible thing, sets it up. Here's Sabah. Nice close quarter movement of the ball. Avishka. Jurangpati. Kutubuddin. A pass is forward. Oh, dearie me. That had a try written all over it, Paul.
2 players outside, 1 player to beat. That's the sort of thing that you coach every day. It's a closed skill set that on Monday they'll be training that for sure, that player.
Yeah, he had a player immediately inside him and looked for the outside man, Fernando.
Crouch!
Should probably have looked for
Bind!
Sirivardhana coming
Set!
in.
Steady, guys!
And now Josephs are suffering in the scrum. Devan Fernando does well coming away with it, though it's a very difficult skill to master, picking the ball up at the back of a retreating scrum. Vikramasekara, the pass is slow, so the Wesleyite defense has time to come in. Avantha makes a good tackle, stepping back inside was Ramesh Priyankara.
8 offside.
And the referee has had his hand out for advantage, offside.
8.
Only the second time I think Wesley have given away this penalty in this game, which is good discipline from them. They haven't given away too many penalties, which is why they're ahead on the scoreboard as well, isn't it, Paul? Their discipline in defence has been a little better.
So what we've seen them doing is listening to the referee. So when the referee says hands off, they're hands off and they're retreating. When the referee says wait defence before you come up, they listen to the referee, and the referee's the one that has the whistle, so he's the man that you need to listen to the whole game.
5. So here, they are marked.
And don't forget, all your kids' activities, your sporting activities can be posted up on the Papare as well. You can follow that on the ThePapare, our kids section. It's like the kids menu at a restaurant. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's your social sports, your company sports, or kids sporting events on Papare Lite and the ThePapare, and of course all this action here from the Singer Schools Rugby League live on thepapare.com, with a few exceptions, of course. The cry of Zamzam Zaki, Zamzam Zay rings out across the old pavilion at the Sierra FC club. And that wouldn't be a happy sound for Josephian supporters, as it's a home game for them as well.
Crouch! Bind! Steady!
Referee
Not binding up. Number 8 not binding.
Yeah, it looked like Wesley were pretty keen to get out of that scrum, and they had a move already going on, but you've got to complete the scrum before you get that move going. So if you're not going to do that, the referee will pull you up.
Well, his call there was number 8 not binding, and not sure about that. I think if one arm is bound, it's considered binding.
That's right, and it just has to be bound up to the shoulder, so it did look like that. But I actually thought it might have been the lock. It looked like the locks weren't binding onto each other, and they were the... Anyway, it was the referee's call. He's really close to the action.
Sven Muller. Overthrown but rescued by Devan Fernando, but he knocks it on. Referee misses that one. And now that's another slow ball emanating from the base of the ruck. Vinul Fernando, was there a committed tackler there? Oh dear. Ramesh Priyankara just couldn't get his hands on that ball.
Excellent play by the outside centre, putting that little kick through.
Line out.
You could see that there were it was 2 on 2, and they were taken, and there was, unless the winger was going to make a play come inside, putting the ball on the boot was was what was needed.
So Wesley will have to defend this 5-meter scrum. The first one they probably have to defend all game. And a few minutes to go, Paul. We have to discuss our man of the match.
Bind.
I think Chatro Seniviratne for St. Joseph's has been admirable in the way he's cleared his lines. Avishkar, the scrum half, has been plenty of running. See what the referee says here.
No hand, no, leave the ball. 2 movements, guys.
And the referee's reversed his penalty there. It's St. Joseph's have in that replay. St. Joseph's picked and ran. You can see Fernando asking the referee, "Sir, I'm bound up to my shoulders."
The touching is touching. You need to get the bind. Too many movements.
Referee telling Fernando that binding is binding, touching is touching. So that's an interesting interpretation because he's probably been doing that all game, Paul. And for him, if he's changed something, then that's something that Fernando should understand as well.
That's right, and it was right for him to ask the question, although he really needs to go through his captain, but he needs interpretation from the referee because the referee's making those decisions. But as far as man of the match is concerned, I think it's got to go to one of the number 8s. They've both affected the game well and been stars for both teams.
Step back.
Yeah, I think I would agree, and it's difficult also to... Sabir is giving us a suggestion of the number 9, Lee Avishkar. But I would agree with you, Paul, that
no hand, guys.
Fernando has been the go-to man. He's made some telling breaks, a few mistakes, but also in the line-out he has been tremendous. And in defense as well, executed some turnovers. So it's 2-1 here in the commentary box as Ramesh Priyankara tries a last gasp. Collected there by Tariq Jurangpati. So I think we overruled Sabir in the commentary box and given it to Fernando, the number 8 of Wesley. Jurangpati. Kick this one down the field. That's probably not the smartest thing to do. He could have found touch. Ramesh Priyankara now will try to spark something for his team. The Josephian captain brought to ground. Manages to set the ball back. Bit starved of action on the wing today. Started the season off in the centres. Kevin Silva. Good clear out from St. Joseph's. Dummying and going is the number 17, Tristan Pereira. He's been full of running as well. Here's the danger man, Devon Fernando. Cut down in a tackle, but no arms from Tariq Jurangpati. And the referee showing the penalty advantage. It's a new man on the park. Number 20 is Tehan Seniviratne. Ball going forward off the hand of Devon Fernandez. The referee bringing it back for that no arms tackle from Jurangpati.
It looks like as the game's worn on, St. Joseph's attack has narrowed and become a lot thinner, and they're more behind the players and spreading out wide. So if you're going to set up your team like that, even if your fitness is starting to lag, you've really got to be more direct.
Picking and going, isolated is the Joseph's ball carrier, and Wesley tried to counter ruck, but Joseph's recover well. Referee standing in the middle of the ruck there, making the replacement scrum half go around him. Apologies for the quality of the pictures though, because it really is very dark here at Longton Place. And there are no lights turned on. Good step inside by Rajita De Silva.
No hand now, leave it.
He's carried well today, the second row forward.
Number 6 offside. Leon advantage, number 6.
Dias pinged for offside by the referee. Still playing advantage. Chatro Seniviratne. Ball in front of Gamunu Chetia. Now the bouncing ball for Ramesh Priyankara. Steps inside, steps outside. Oh, he got hit in the face there. Ramesh Priyankara will remember that one for a while, but the try is scored. Referee's allowed advantage. And the try scored by Devon Fernando. He's deserved that. He's worked really hard all day. And Priyankara took a smash to his face, completely unintentional by the looks of things, because he was going down when the tackler was coming across. But bodies all over the place, Paul.
It was a great step. He stepped inside, then he stepped back out, and then he turned the gas on and got through that hole. Here we see it. They had the numbers, but they threw a miss-out pass. There's a bounce pass there. Little step inside, step out, put on the afterburners, and then copped one on the chin.
Match over.
Bahardeen there with
I saw there, but match is over. You got the score.
Bit of a swipe. Think he'll be lucky to stay on the field, really,
but I need to go back to my country.
Referee saw that properly.
They'll kill me.
So too little, too late from St. Joseph's, Paul, and I think Wesley relaxing a little bit. 2 scores in front. They probably expected the game to be over by now.
Yeah, that's right. And you could see from the short arm kick a couple of phases ago that the kicker took a little tap and then put the ball up, and he was the only one that chased through. So that's really saying to me that their team believes the game's over already, and now it is.
Yes, that's the end of it, and unfortunately for St. Joseph's, in a must-win game, they finished second best, and it looks like Wesley College will probably be the team that is staying up in the cup competition as this Singer Schools Rugby League goes into its second phase in a few weeks. And St. Joseph's, unless other results go in their favour, will probably have to contend with playing in the plate competition. There's our man of the match, Fernando. It's a Wesley team that knows they've been in a match. It hasn't been an easy win for them by any stretch of the imagination. 19 points to 10 is how it finishes, and St. Joseph's will go home and lick their wounds. They tried hard, Paul, but just not enough up front to try and win the ball and set up enough of an attacking platform. They had some game breakers out wide. Romesh Priyankara and Vinul Fernando really cut Wesley open on the outside, but just too little, too late in the day for them.
That's right. They really needed to work on their set pieces. The Wesley set piece was excellent. The line out was working well. The scrum was working well. So they were getting good delivery of the ball. St. Joseph's were tenacious in their defence, and they were getting up and really making a game of it. But their attack is a little bit too narrow. And then when they spread it wide, they're running the ball wide. So they drag all the defence across and use up the space.
So it was 2 tries to St. Joseph's for their 10 points, and then we had 3 tries for Wesley College, with 2 of them being converted by Lee Avishka, and tries scored for them by Avishka and Dias in the first half by Avishka and Dias, and another try scored at the end for them by Vimukti as well. So that was good scoring from Wesley. They managed to get 3 tries on the board. They missed the 4th try, which would have been their bonus point. We had Isipatana winning pretty easily against Kingswood this afternoon as well, and we'll have Trinity taking on DS tomorrow. ThePapare.com bringing you all the action from the school's rugby arena. From Paul Toya and myself, sharing the passion here on ThePapare.com. Don't forget to tune into our breakdown session over the course of the hour of the week, and happy holidays to all of you guys. We'll join you in the next weekend of rugby action.
go.